If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Lawful Stupid just jumped over. First of all, it's free, and we love that. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, wherever you're at, on the go. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you. There are a lot of other vendors out there, a lot of platforms that they will make sure your podcast gets to, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with zero minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Last time on Lawful Stupid.
Hey, last time we had a debate about rules.
No.
I just want to say this is Dwayne's game. I respect him. I respect his game as a DM. I respect him standing his ground. A lot of other DMs maybe could have gotten swayed one way or the other. Stood his ground, stood by it. I support all of his decisions. We are a team, and I love him, and I love the show, and I love you all.
Why can't you say that to Atlas as Kristoff?
Quit murdering everything that people care about and being a fucking dick cheese, and I will.
I would say twofold. What was your response? Murdering something he cares about?
Okay.
Touché.
Yeah, but to be fair, it was the thing that was corrupting him. But I will say this. I am super impressed that Alice managed to not run away from the Murphys.
I can't. I could. I can breathe underwater, so I could have done that for a long time.
Throw back to season 1 where you run away
Didn't
from
run away, tried to stop it.
Yeah. And
Are
how
you
did
just
that
making
go?
your way around our D&D circle arguing right now?
Yeah.
Do I was the first?
Yeah.
I'm.
Alex. You should have talked about those bugs sooner.
I was trying to be bipartisan and
We're
being
even.
like,
We're all even.
I'm just nonchalantly here, letting them do the thing until I was like, you know what? Fuck, now that I'm on this boat, it's not adding up. Yeah.
I respect that. Good job, Alex.
So what happened on the last episode is
We talked it over, and then it's like we're all good now.
we did. I had a heart-to-heart with Rowan.
Yeah.
I also had a heart-to-heart with Rowan. Kristoff had a conversation with Avia about what had happened. She was not happy. What had actually happened was Kristoff had used, and the argument came from, what was it, what you used? Dispel magic, thinking it would remove Ilaria. Ilaria pretending that she was gone, and now this remnant of Ilaria still is in the sword, pretending that she has been killed. I know that, the other two don't know that, and we walked back to the beach, and coming over the hill was Henry and an unknown fire genasi.
Exactly.
That is a very good recap. So yeah, Henry and this fire genasi are heading down this hill towards you. Now you may respond in the ways that you wanted to.
Henry, and I will run to him.
Yeah, you do that, and as you're running, he has the knowing grin that Henry has always had whenever you two like meet after
Dads
a
always
while.
know.
And you.
But parents just don't understand.
Yep. And you reach him.
I wrap him up, pick him up off his feet.
Yeah, you do. And one of the things that like doesn't really click until you pick him up and wrap him off his feet is your papa is in armor.
So he's just the heavy.
And you have not ever seen him in combat armor ever in your life.
I think that only registers for me after I've set him back down. And then I say, oh, what is this? This is nice, but why are you wearing it?
And he looks at you, and his first response is like, when you say, what is this? He says, armor.
Hold on a second.
And then when you
why
say,
are you even here?
And he says, I expect the same reason you're here. little off, but we'll get it. We'll dial that in.
It's a good Henry voice. I like it.
And
Well,
he
to
says,
say, I'm not even sure why I'm here. I just was called.
by Svan.
Well, yeah, when Svan calls, you come and run it.
Exactly.
So, who's your friend?
And he says, oh, of course. And he turns to the left, and this is going to be super fun. I get to butcher my attempt at Abon. Super good. He says, of course, Mrs. Daythorn. And Avon's character, who I've not practiced voice at all, so this should be great, says, I'm going to channel my inner, what is her name from SpongeBob?
Sandy Cheeks.
Sandy Cheeks.
Sandy. I'm going to channel my Sandy.
Ding, ding, ding.
Wavelengths.
And I'm going to say, how do I even tune that one in?
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all. Oh, fuck, that came out, Mr. Hanky. Howdy, y'all. Nice to meet you. My name is Avon.
Did you say Abon?
Nope, said Avon.
Avon.
You got something in your ears?
No. Sorry, I am hard of hearing sometimes, but nice to meet you. Handshake.
She shakes your hand.
I don't think it's bad.
It
That's
is
not
not
bad.
accurate to form, but it is.
Yeah, but you're also a man replicating a woman's. I'll give you.
Hey,
some-
guys, fifth voice. Okay, fifth voice confirmed.
Christmas.
The mythical fifth. They say that when Dwayne masters a fifth voice, the sea shall boil and earth shall fall from the sky.
Not yet. This is only the Penta voice.
Oh, I see.
Confirmed.
The seventh voice is the one that unlocks the seals.
Septa
so-
voice.
Septa voice. So while they're having this conversation, I have walked over to some of these crew members that I know and can trust from the ship, and I'll just go like, gentlemen, upon that shipwreck, you will find some salvage. Namely, you'll find arcane cannons. There's a number of them on the ship. If you are able to salvage them, of course, half can remain on your ship, which is going to be a great boon to you. I know they're kind of highly sought after on the ships. The other can be delivered back to my agent, Signori.
And you said that to Henry or
Just the deckhands.
deckhands?
No, the crew
Okay,
members
sorry,
that came with us
I
ashore.
missed the front end of that. Yeah, so they kind of look at you, and you hear the not captain, but like the leader of that, like the highest ranking member that was on the dinghy and
On the boarding party?
on the boarding party, and says, "We'll talk to the
Typically
captain."
the quartermaster. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, thank you.
Yep, and so they're going about finishing their task that they were doing as you kind of like offer them this deal to some degree.
I'm assuming that whoever I took a ship with knows who I am.
What do you mean? Do you mean they know you as the Silver Serpent, or they know like?
Yeah, I'm wearing my mask.
Yeah, so they know you are the Silver Serpent. They have heard rumors. No one has on the ship like directly confronted you about anything for sure.
Sure. I feel like maybe me and the captain may have had a sit down talk about how greatly he could be rewarded for.
Oh, for sure. This dude has not, which is he did his thing and went, I'm going to go talk to the captain versus just confirm with this guy who has creepy rumors that I'm going to do something for him.
Got it. No, that's it. I just had to have that off to the side while they were having this reunite moment.
Okay. What do you want to do, Rowan?
It's good to meet you, Avon. Henry, how's my holiday going? Is it still in full form?
And Henry says, to tell you the truth, I only got to enjoy the one. I missed the second go round, but it's a blast.
What are you doing here?
Well, Swan needed my help. I have talents that are good for war. I just thought I wouldn't need them anymore. And
I mean, that makes sense.
You
First time we met, you fucking flatlined a motherfucker. I saw it.
And he kind of smiles at that, and you hear Abon say, "Why are you being weird? He makes really good weapons." Like,
Pretty
That
spot
was
on.
really good.
frankly.
Well, yeah, of course. We all know he makes just the best weapons. But I never knew that you were this war master.
so let's line up something that Atlas knows about Henry. Henry makes beautiful weapons. As long as you have been in said picture, Henry has never ever made a deadly weapon. It has always been ceremonial. It has always been like blunted, and they look great, but he never makes deadly weapons. Or you have not known him to do that.
Right. That's what I mean. I've always known
And-
he makes like good weapons in terms
Oh,
of.
I'm
they're
just
beautiful.
confirming because it's going to change.
Uh-oh.
And Henry says, "Yes, and that's why I'm here. Helping out with the armaments."
Oh,
I'm going to. Kristoff would walk back into the picture around this time. Yes, of course, and we must always be careful about how the weapons we create are used. Sometimes a weapon can be more evil than the man wielding it.
I was shooting a
And-
glance.
When you say that, Henry, who has
So,
no
like,
context for this, says, No, the weapons I make, not really like that. I tend to blame the wielder, not the weapon itself. But it is good to see
suppose-
you again,
Atlas
Kristoff."
drops his head. He is sad that his father has said this.
Of,
No, it's a true story. I fucking shot some of them into some children and a vampire. Done.
of course, Henry, you would never do anything like that. You are indeed a badass. Callbacks! Hey, you guys remember callbacks?
Oh,
from
Henry's a
season one?
badass.
Henry's a
Yeah,
badass!
it's like episode 4. Shit.
Henry says,
2, I think.
"So, I assume Spawn brought you here as well?"
I'm kind of his most trusted advisor.
Yes, father.
Avon,
You know.
when you say that, Avon looks at you like has never met you in her life and is now highly skeptical of you.
Where are my manners? I am Kristoff Shindo. I extend my hand to shake.
And she shakes her hand and says, "It's nice to meet you. I'm Avon."
A pleasure, small mine. And what are you doing? Who are you? I don't mean to be inquisitive. What is your role here? I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage. I'm sure you know me.
And she looks at you and says, I can't say that I do, but my name is Abon Daythorn. And I'm a K-Ray.
What are you caring about?
I'm a caring about all y'all.
Karen?
That was Avon.
No,
I would love to roll a history check to see if I know what the fuck that is.
a Karen is?
Yeah, can we both do that? 'Cause
Are you saying like Kieran?
No, I'm saying
the
K-Ren.
Bowman of the River
Nope,
Styx.
K-Ren.
Then I would love
Yeah,
to
it
roll a
is
history check.
different with the accent. Yep, 100%. Go ahead.
I mean, that's a 19.
So here's
Plus, 19 plus modifier. I think it's 22. Oh no, it's 23.
Oh, you have proficiency in history checks?
Yeah, I have plus
So
4. Yeah.
here's what you know about the K-Ren. You know that the K-Ren are a organization that you know that what they did used to be more common knowledge, and as time has faded, what they do is less popular. like it's less common knowledge, but you happen to know that you don't know their purpose, like the purpose of the Karen, but you know that their primary spellcasting abilities is by using ink and using a utensil to draw with. And as you're like remembering this, you see the quill in her ear, and it starts in the book in her hand, and you're starting to put things together and going, oh yeah, those are the casters with some interesting magical abilities.
Kristoff kind of takes a step back and bows a bit, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, madam. I did not realize I was in the presence of an ink binder."
And she says, I don't know that I'd call me that, but I appreciate the thought all the same.
There must be grave activities at large here if your organization has been called to task.
And she says, well, it's kind of more of a family thing than anything else. We haven't been called to task, but us Daythorns, we always find ourselves in the thick of things, if you know what I mean.
Picking up what you're laying down.
Madam, you are talking to a Shindo. I understand.
And when you say that, she says, oh.
Just oh.
That's the same reaction I
That's
had.
And Henry says,
pretty much it.
Henry
yeah.
says, Abon, to be clear, so far he's not acted like the rest of Silence. So I trust him. And you can tell, Kristoff, you're picking up a little hesitation, but you're not 100% sure why. You also have never seen him in combat armor.
I'm also pissed.
You're also wearing a silver dragon mask as well.
Yeah, yeah, sure, but I'm also like, he hasn't acted like the other members of Silence, a country whose people fundamentally I care for. So that's an insult to me. I know he means it as a compliment, but that's Kristoff. The only outward expression of that is he just kind of nods and looks into the distance, trying to see if those the quartermaster and his boarding party had come back to the ship to speak to the captain or not.
I mean, they're heading that direction for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I suppose we go back with you somewhere. You've got a base of operations. So somewhere to explain what's going on.
And Henry says, of course we can head to our forward operating base. It's just outside of the nearby town. And he kind of like stretches, and you can tell he's not super comfortable in this armor that he's been like just wearing around. And as he finishes stretching, he says, we're near Holbeck, but it's a nice city to go into, or a nice small town to go into when you need to get away. And so he turns and starts walking, and Avon follows his lead and walks beside him, and you are now heading to the southwest inland.
Boys, I've got questions. Alice, have you ever seen your dad wear armor like that?
I don't even remember seeing it around the house.
So it looks weird.
Yeah.
Kristoff, what's a bookbinder?
Oh, an ink binder. They're magic users, powerful magic users. They're an organization older than I have knowledge. Honestly, their purpose eludes me completely, but I know that they are powerful magic users, and they utilize ink, written word, to manifest their magical will into reality.
And so as you're saying that, you hear Abon say, "That's close, but not quite on the mark there, Tiefling. You're thinking more of what those keepers do? We tend to draw pictures of the world around us, and with our magic and gifts, we can do a little bit more than draw."
Oh, there you have it from the horse's mouth.
What that mean, though?
What that mean, though, indeed?
And so she opens up a book and goes, "I find it's a little bit easier to show." And you see her open the book as you're walking and pull from the quill, and she scribbles on the page. And as you see that, you see flashes of red light. Yeah, you turn on Arcane Torrent Vision. You're not seeing much disturbance in a standard form. You know that whatever she's doing is not, whether you know it's Arcane Torrent or not, it's not drawing heavily on the torrent to do whatever she's doing.
Yeah.
And so she scribbles or scrolls onto this page and tears it free and kind of just tosses it aside. And you see the page burn to crisp, and the ink and ash on the page kind of form into 3 small doves, and they kind of just fly into the distance.
Oh, that's wonderful. I've got a thing kind of like that too. And then I put 2 fingers on my mouth and whistle, and then an elk shows up, and I ride it. Because I used Find Steed, and that's my steed.
Okay. You summon an elk, and now you are riding an elk while your companions are walking. And she looks back and says, "Wow, that's a neat trick."
A trick nonetheless, though. It's still not as cool as drawing some doves, though. I like that. Can you draw, bananas?
And she laughs. I probably could. And she scribbles onto the page and throws another one down, and you see it burn and throw to ash, and next to your elk is a secondary elk made of ink and ash, where yours is real and solid in the world. Hers is almost the outline.
Looks like the Take On Me video.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. It's the outline, but then there's shading, and she walks over and mounts the elk and says, "Close enough."
Couldn't do bananas though.
I just make an elk out of ice. And I look at it for a while, and if I can stick on it, I'm gonna push it over.
Atlas, what do you do?
I build one out of clay and mud and the earth.
I built one
It
out of
takes
fury.
hours. It takes 12 hours, and it's not great.
Yeah, so Avon rides his elk for not long before getting off and dismissing it.
She's covered in ink and ruined her clothes.
Well, yeah. So you guys are again walking towards, and you're starting to get where you can see tents, and you can see kind of the evidence of a small army. Is there anything you guys want to do or say before we roll into this encampment?
Really never wanted to see a war camp again.
And you hear Henry say, "That makes 2 of us."
Cats.
What are they doing here in silence? Who are these people? Are they invading for us?
This is intense.
Knew it.
You're a teepee. You're a wigwam. You're a teepee. You're a wigwam. Calm down, man.
2 tents.
He says, "We're not invading. Consider us more an expedition."
Is Swan up ahead?
Yes.
Could you direct me towards him, please?
super walk in that direction. He doesn't really respond to that. So you walk through this encampment, and it is tents, fires, and there's like weapon racks and armor, and you can tell that people are preparing for battle for sure. But you also know you can see you guys are all pretty competent adventurers. Wink. You can see that this has been here a while. It's not like they just set up yesterday. You can tell that they have been in this encampment for a little bit. People are kind of comfortable. In general, you can see in the ground that the tents are like sunk in really well. But then you come up on a larger tent, which you can tell is like the command tent, where you can just see by the size of it compared to everything else. And when you when Henry opens the fucking curtain of the tent, you see, or the canopy of the tent, you see Swan standing over a table and Chiringa to his left, and to Chiringa's left you see Findle, and then across the side is Frost, and they're all like having a conversation. And then when you come in, you are greeted by Findle first, who looks up and says, "Oh, Henry!"
I'm going to look around Findle at Frost, big smile, and I kind of like tip my mask at him.
And Frost just like looks at you and like does not return the nod. He just is more mute neutral to your action.
And then I hug Findle.
And Findle becomes ecstatic when you hug him. "Oh, Kristoff, oh, what is on your face?" And he immediately starts like putting his paws all over your mask.
"Oh, Findle, what is on your arm?" And I start messing with them all.
As Findle?
I'm mimicking his voice.
Oh, I didn't know if you were actually going to disguise yourself as Findle when you did it.
Oh, that would be better. I do that. That's better. I do that. Absolutely. I steal your idea and I do that. I wave my hand across my face, and then as it passes, I become Findle. And I go, "Ooh, what's that on your arm?"
Do me a favor, because I'm going to kind of force something on you, because I think it's great. Roll a dexterity or a sleight of hand check for me, please.
Not bad at all. Sleight of hand +2 is 18.
Perfect. So I think you do that, and you look at the maw, and you like put your paws on it, and he backs up, and then you mimic him, and you do the mirror thing, right? Where he like moves his right hand, and you move, and then he like touches his nose, and he looks, and like leans in, and goes, "Kristoff, you're the most handsome I've ever seen you ever."
You're absolutely beautiful. You're a vision.
I agree. This is the best magic I've ever seen in my life. Keep it up. Don't ever stop. Don't turn back. This is wonderful.
This is amazing magic. We're basically the greatest wizards to ever live, you and I.
Oh, I agree. I'm a little bit better because I'm the original, but splitting hairs, really.
Original Burger King French fries were never as good as the ones that they came out with later. Anyway, I'll be over here. I have to talk to other people now, Findle. Hey, look, Atlas's teeth. And I take off the disguise spell and I go talk to
So I disguise self as Atlas, so there's 2 Atlases.
He approaches you originally and just like 100% interacts with you and is like, "Oh, Atlas, my boy," and like starts grabbing at you. I don't disguise self. Does that stand up to physical inspection?
No, not at all. No,
so
no
as soon as he hits, it's 100% falls apart. And, "Oh, Rowan, sorry." And he like,
he doesn't. He still looks like Atlas. He just like so like if you because you can make yourself up to like a foot taller. If somebody waved their hand there, it would be just air. So he still looks.
Yeah, but he's super gonna pick that up, like because.
I'm just saying, like to everybody else, it's not like it dissolves because some illusions once you touch them,
Yeah,
go away.
No, but for Fendel, he hits it and says, sorry, Rowan, and like turns to Atlas and like goes to like mess with his teeth and he stops and goes, something's different here.
You think it's the eye that's missing? That may be it.
Oh dear, no. But I'm glad it wasn't those chompers. They're so nice like this. You just seem different, my boy. Is everything okay?
Yeah. Oh well. No, but
Henry, my boy, how are you doing? Yes, I see Atlas has returned. Yes. Fendel. Right. Probably now's the time. Atlas, beautiful teeth. Wonderful.
Oh, I have to say
Cheer up, my boy. And he like looks at Abon and goes, still love your hair. And like walks back over to the table. He's always, excuse me. He's always like that, isn't he? And Henry says, yes. Yes, he is.
Now, tell me, Dwayne, as Abon, how much knowledge do you have about birthing no babies?
And sorry,
What?
what? One more time, just roll that sentence back by me.
Dwayne, as
Abon.
Abon, how much knowledge do you have about birthing no babies? Okay, so
without
Can
slang,
you just say that in
what does
normal
birth and no
words?
babies
Birth and
mean?
no babies? I don't know what birth and no babies means.
Okay, so there's a classic film. It's called Gone with the Wind. It's based on a novel of the same name, in which there's a famous line in which a woman says in a very similar accent to the one that you're doing, "I don't know nothing about birthing no babies."
Oh.
When Scarlett O'Hara is faced with a pregnant woman who's going into labor.
God damn it, Scott. Look,
it's fine.
It's funny when
Frank,
you
I
explain
don't
it.
give a damn.
Yeah, it's much better after you've explained the joke. 100%.
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Some jokes are just too good for me,
Comedy
Shane.
podcast failed.
Nope.
That's
Sometimes you
fair.
just
Hey,
too good a joke.
if that joke landed on the first attempt with you before I explained it, just send me an email. I need it.
Quick.
The boys at
Please
lawfulstupid.org.
put in the subject line, I got it, so I can put in a rule to delete those immediately.
So he's like, "Oh yeah, Lawful Stupid. They were asking for that ticket you asked for to MegaCon that you're invited to. I got it." And the sub, no.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, okay, cool. Next up.
Sorry, I'll leave.
No, you should probably stay in the commander's tent, unless you want to do something different.
Yeah. It's fun.
And Spawn, who watched this entire interaction, he's like smiling and says, it's good to see you. It's good to see you all.
It's good to see you. You're alive and everything. It's great.
Of course, I'm alive.
You didn't look so hot the last time I said it. That's all I'm saying.
It's been a while.
I've missed you, Madman Spawn. You have some things to answer for.
Does he?
Do I?
Oh, so just I want to check, because I don't want to sound like a dummy, but I don't know. Is the land that we are currently in within the dominion of the Kingdom of Silence?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
You
then
know
I'm-
that you're not
then-
in Silence's reach yet. You are on the outskirts.
Right. You've got an army, and you're on the border of my kingdom.
And Spawn kind of grits and says, to be fair, this isn't your kingdom anymore.
No, but the people there are still mine. I still consider them under my protection. And when you bring them armed forces, it just alarms me. I know, Swan, I know you're a good man. I know you wouldn't hurt the people of Silence. So I just want answers. I was looking for an explanation.
And Swan says, the short version is that there is something going on with the Arcane Torrent in the center of your kingdom. And when we decided it, we needed to check on it, because what I'm told is it's not something that can be let go unanswered. We decided to reach out to your kingdom. And we were met
Hence Frost being
with silence. And in fact, not only were we met with silence, we are not fools. We tend to scout things out when we don't hear back from a major power. And we noted the increased presence of military. And your country is preparing for war.
And that's why you called me here, to mediate some sort of peaceful end to this?
If you think you can accomplish that, if you think you can get information or at least begin a dialogue, that would be something. What we know is the Arcane Torrent is... And you hear Fender go, "Oh, it's unstable, my boy. Fine in most places, go run not so bad overall, but here it's not great. It's unstable at best, and the closer you get to Silence, the wonkier everything gets."
No, I'm not exactly. I know, especially in this room, I'm not the most educated man on the Arcane Torrent. I kind of nod to Findle first, kind of nod to Frost second. I'm just not, but I have weathered the heart of that storm, and I know that it being unstable could potentially be catastrophic to all life in this region. So we have to address that. I understand that. And I understand why Silence would react the way they would, and why you've reacted the way you have. But this should not be an issue. I should be able to open up a peaceful dialogue, and we should be able to resolve this with no casualties.
And Frost turns and says, "Look, if that's something you can do, we're obviously on board. Right now, we're making preparations for if that's not the case. In fact, the borders are very much closed. We are missing a few people who tried to cross said borders to get some information. They have not returned. We're also facing the issue that we are not getting a lot of support from the Ridge Scar Peaks either. It's great we can hide behind them, but they're not making our lives easy either."
It's a non-issue, Frost. You are an expert when it comes to the Torrent. We all understand that and acknowledge that. No one could teach it better than you, but this is a time for diplomacy. And I assure you, no one can teach it better than the one who taught me. So we should be just fine. I think we can bring this out. Well, thank you for calling for me. You made the right call.
And Spawn kind of laughs a little bit and says, if that's what you want to try first, but
there will be no trying. It's a simple matter. I will resolve this within days, I assure you. For now, don't send any more scouts, because they will be perceived as invaders, and I apologize for your loss on the many we've already sent ahead, but we will resolve this.
And how do you plan to get through Ridge Scar Peaks?
I have contacts, I assure.
Okay. Well, we will continue preparing we can give you a couple weeks before we start marching, if that.
Should be fine. Just long enough correspondence to go through. I appreciate that.
If we don't hear from you, we will begin marching on at least the first of many fortresses.
I don't think that would be necessary, but you must, of course, prepare for the worst. That is your job. Let us pray that it does not come to that.
Yeah, I don't really want to murder your people. But if they keep fucking with it, it's going to be a problem.
Not gonna murder anyone.
Findle, I assure you, as the person who will be standing in front of the people of Silence, should any harm come in their direction, I absolutely don't want you to take actions against them. I've seen what you can do, and that would be unpleasant for me.
And Frost says, he kind of looks back and says, then what are you waiting for, serpent? Go do what you do.
Ooh, that sounds angry.
By your leave, Master Frost. Oh. This before I go, is Windy with you?
And he looks at you and says, she's not right now. No?
Is she well?
I hope so.
As do I, he says.
No, I leave.
Fine then, don't fucking roll into my fanfiction or anything.
I won't. You have to write your own fanfics.
Yeah, okay.
He did.
So you exit the tent.
I'll read them.
I guess. Other boys, what do you want to do in this scenario?
Go ahead, Rowan.
Take it away, Rowan.
Yeah. Alright, Hey, Atlas.
Yes, Rowan.
What are we doing here again?
You just follow Kristoff. I just got one more thing.
I'm not just following Kristoff.
Okay, well then
We've all got our own mins.
Oh,
Look, I don't want any harm done to anyone through this.
yeah.
There's no reason for senseless bloodshed.
So
We do what we have to do, but we do it peacefully.
Well, we gotta help Kristoff then. Right now, he's the best bet. As much as I hate his guts at this moment, he is our best bet.
You don't hate his guts.
I know. I love him. But something fierce.
Somewhere deep in the distance, Kristoff makes a masturbatory gesture.
That's
Rowan
gross. Don't do that on
reciprocates.
this podcast.
Put it away, Shane!
I already did a long time ago.
Hey,
D&D erotica, we're not doing that. I look at here and I say,
Potterotica only.
is there anything any intel we should know going in? Or what do the people think of? Kristoff's going back home. Are the people going to receive him? Are they going to attack him?
I mean, we're already there. We're
Who
already
did you
basically
say that
close
to,
to his
sir?
home.
I say it to Henry, or I guess to any of them. Probably Svan, probably the best to know.
I like that open-ended question. Go Svan.
And,
just to the
Yeah,
room.
so it is
Just
to the
dressing
room.
the room.
Everybody's there listening. I don't try to whisper to one person.
and you hear Spawn say, I wish I could say. Honestly, they're not responding to any missives, declarations, and it's going to get ugly.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the problem, is being a little too political about it.
they probably won't even remember. It's been how long since he's been back?
A couple years.
Through 2-3 years.
They will absolutely know what he is. But maybe if he wears that mask, I mean, that's kind of creepy. He'll stand out, but they will know.
They'll never remember me.
All right, well.
Who is this silver-scaled tiefling?
We'll have to get him a large jacket.
Kristoff. We are that silver-scaled tiefling.
I'm the pappy.
I'm
Out
the
of
pappy.
pappy.
All right, well, I guess we'll be on our way, and if you don't hear from us in 2 weeks, we'll see you on the other side.
So, are you
That's
going to
bold.
exit?
I'm going to exit.
When you go to exit, like, Henry, like, grabs you? And is like,
Oh, the scruff of the neck.
he says, no. He says to you, Alice, this isn't like the other times. This is real. I know what happened at Oxbane was awful and otherworldly. But what you're suggesting is going up against a kingdom who, for any other reason, we believe to be hostile. And prior to us inquiring about the Arcane Torrent and the disturbances, all trades, negotiations, all of those things, they were going ahead as scheduled until we asked about the disturbance. What you're doing is not a safe task. And there's something off about your friend.
Which friend?
He looks at you, slightly disappointed.
I have 2 friends. You have to be
I
more
have both
clear.
of them. I have both of them and a ghost and a sword. Oh wait, no you don't.
I know, I should have been more clear.
Rowan
There's
is just
something
looking
off
at him,
about
hearing him say
Kristoff.
all of this.
Yep,
Just like has a
100%.
drink, just like,
He's wondering who it is too.
Yeah, who is that? Yeah.
yeah, who's your weird friend?
And I guess that's what we end this episode with Henry warning you, Kristoff departing, and you boys in the commander's tent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you so much for listening.
Who is that?
Alice, who's your weird friend?
Really, I mean, it kind of applies to all of your friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, let's see. You
But I think he didn't mean me specifically.
got the crazy terrorist. You've got the drunk storyteller. You've got the ghost and a sword, and that's your
Hey.
3 friends.
I may be a terrorist, but I'm not crazy.
Wow.
Passionate, yes. Crazy, also still yes.
Right?
The passion doesn't denote from the crazy.
Thank
Anyway.
you so much for listening.
Thank you so
You were
much
all
for
so
listening.
great. You're too kind for us. So please save me from this.
I want to take a
Um,
minute to tell you about DrawCon. We've been invited to go to Fort Wayne,
Thank you.
Indiana, July 12th to the 14th, where we will be doing several things like leading some tables, some games that will go along with the live show that we do. Dwayne will be doing a workshop on world building. Alex and I will be doing a workshop on beginnings of D&D, how to build characters, some basic rules for those of you who have always wanted to get in the game but weren't sure where to start. I'm sure that Shane will also, I know that he's doing a Sunday service, but he is also going to probably
I'm
do some
so
other
stoked
things.
for that.
We will
I'm
be
so stoked
visited
for
with
that.
D&D Grandma, and the whole thing is being put on by Nerd Asylum. So again, go ahead and get your tickets today at nerdasylum.com, and early bird special right now, I think is what, when we put this episode out, will be the same case. And we'd love to see you there.
Please come out. Come hang out with us. Let us share our insight with you.
And our friends, our weird friends with you.
And our friends. And our weird
Don't forget.
friends.
D&D After Dark. There ain't no rules. There ain't no questions. Just dark.
It's just dark.
Fear. Cold.
So on that note,
I mean, fun.
before it gets super weird in the podcast,
Uh-huh.
let's just call it, boys.
what?
Tom.
Let's just
Play it
call
out,
it.
play it
Just
out.
say goodbye.
Oh,
Yep.
it's not like we're in the middle of things.
I mean, I guess if you really insist, then like a lycanthrope,
lycanthrope.
like a lycanthrope.
Yeah, you are great.